Going to talk about the storyboard today. So let's jump in and see. So Kemit, again, good job. Huh? Nice, good work. Okay, so
Yes.
yeah, so the storyboard is basically about how you start creating a structure. Okay, so I'll hide the slide bar. Okay, so this is basically the idea of how you create a story. Okay, now what you do is like similar to working on a movie, or let's say if you are creating a game or a movie, you do have this type of storyboards where you basically write all this stuff and you create each and every frame. Okay, so if you get a chance, just search for game behind the scene games, or search on YouTube as game storyboards. You will find lots and lots of videos about how people create the story. So what they do is
The
they
storyboard of the Star Wars, the
yes,
original book,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
very protected.
Yes, as well as this like most of the games and movies, they do have books where they actually like, so what they do is they take all the storyboards and they put it into a book and they sell the book as well. And those books are like pretty darn expensive sometimes. So a storyboard is basically a visual planning of how you present or how you are planning to do some sort of a media project. Okay, so example is like if you are creating a YouTube video also, then the ideal method would be first you have to come up with the storyboard. First you just need to sketch something. I mean, you don't have to like specifically draw everything, but it can be just stick figures. You can draw something. This is frame 1, this is frame 2, and this is frame 3. And then that would basically give you a clear idea about how to progress forward. Okay, so why do we use this? It's quite simply to plan and to make sure that you can find problems, because now I I do YouTube videos as well, and sometimes when I make a mistake, what I do is I just select that part and I delete it. But if you actually do that in a correct way using storyboards, then you won't make that mistake. That's why even in movies also, they sometimes they cut and chop and remove stuff. No? So uh, you get this what do you call it, extended versions of movies, extended version. So normally when a movie is released, you get a kind of like a full cut and chopped version, and after that you will get, after that what they do is they release another extended version. Example is the Spider-Man movie, which came recently. So there was an extended version which is about another 45 minutes long, and it had a lot of different movie shots which was not there in the original one. So what they do is they shoot a long video and they cut off simple points to reduce the time. So that's again a point where you will be using a storyboard for, because then you can cut off a specific part without damaging the story. Okay, so real world examples, storyboards are not just used for presentations, as I just said. So videos, video games, and of course as well as planning complex movie sequences, like this movie sequence of Tom Cruise jumping off that ledge for the latest Tom Cruise movie. So he you know that he does his own stunts, no? So I saw the storyboard as well. Like he did a stunt where he basically built a full ramp and he jumped over a big mountain while on the bike, and when he jumped over there was this parachute he was wearing, and he landed safely. Okay, so that was part of the movie. So even that thing has a storyboard. Okay, so those each and every small actions. Okay, so for this, give 1 second. Yeah. So what should a storyboard include? So storyboards basically allows the author to come up with the story itself. So how he is going to create it. Give me 1 second. We are actually having a bad weather now. My connection is. Let me check. Yeah, it's connected. Okay, now back to normal. Okay, so yeah, so this will basically have the headings, some titles, and also there will be some text which will basically have the which will be inside, which must be in the slides, and then you just get the structure done. So this is going to be not official graphical elements, but something such as like diagrams and tables and all, just to give you an idea what you have to do. Then this is the most important point, the timings. So timing is the hardest thing. I'm pretty sure like when you were recording these videos, you might have had that problem as well, right? You just record and you forget about the time and the video is too long.
Yes, sir.
That's a typical problem which happens to everyone. So nowadays we have this problem a lot because I've been trying to shoot YouTube shorts for a long time, but it's so hard to get everything into 1 minute, 59 seconds. So
So you can now put 60.
60 seconds, yeah, but then again, you have to like compress everything into 60 seconds. I mean, that's a very hard task. It's not that it's not that easy.
I do my YouTube shorts, but not showing my face.
Yeah. I will share a link in the chat. It's a bit complex thing, but you don't need a credit card or anything. But there is a way for you to generate YouTube videos using OpenAI or this new AI DeepSeek, where you can basically generate random videos automatically using a specific script.
So that day sir told that Sora thing, right, sir?
Yeah.
Sir told that Sora and I just tried it for basics.
Yeah.
And it actually make a dancing person like a stick man.
Yeah.
And I told like make an 3D that F22 that program, but
Yeah.
it asked like you should have like a model of that and a background for that. Then I can generate.
Then you can generate, correct, yes. You can do a lot. You can do a lot, but remember when you're writing, when you're writing the prompt, just try to make sure that you put as much as information as possible. So don't try to write like 2-3 words. Write about the entire storyline. It's similar to creating a storyline, like a storyboard. So you have so if you get access like in the Sora backend, there's this option called timeline. So when you go to timeline, you get a full view where you can create sub timelines, and you can click on add new timeline and you can add a different story, add another timeline and you can add a different story. Likewise, you can actually build a movie on Sora.
So that Sora is using Blender 4.0, and I really like animation when I was like in grade 5, and I told my mother to like download Blender 4.0.
Okay.
And I'm still using it.
You can run it on your laptop?
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
I am having like 50 GB or something.
Okay. Then obviously yes, you can. Okay. Awesome. I will send you that link. I'll send it on the chat, because just try it out, because I also wanted to try it out. I just saw that in the afternoon, so I just saved the link, because as it says, you can generate multiple videos automatically using OpenAI and generating automatic video prompts. So no idea how it works, but we need to try it out. Okay, so quickly jump into the next point. So the navigation. So the navigation, obviously, now when it comes to storyboards, we do follow a linear sequence. Okay, so please do remember to either highlight or just mark this part down. So storyboards, they do go in linear sequence. Okay, I know it's just a simple thing, but storyboard will always have a single flow. Okay, so that means they go through whatever the slides or the pages one by one, and we have these structures in between so that you can jump back and forth. Okay, so now when it comes to slides, obviously we do have this particular set of actions where we can create buttons to go back and forth. Now this is an option in for PowerPoint as well, where you can actually add PowerPoint buttons and you can create hyperlinks. So technically you can create links to jump back and forth inside the slide deck. Okay, so that of course works. And now when it comes to, this is a real world example, so when it comes to a good presentation, it basically should include a range of different types of information to keep the audience interested. Okay, so it's like this. Now I will, so from my personal point of view, the presentation must be interesting or the presenter must be interesting. Okay, so it goes both ways. So if you can present something in a full energetic attractive way with some fun and stuff and adding more things to it, then the slides would be also okay. But if you are not that type of a person who is a good presenter, then you can fill up the slides. So both goes both ways. So example is for me, when I did my master's presentation, others had like 20-30 slides. I had only 2 slides. So I had slide number 1 explaining who I am, and the second slide explaining the project. I just explained it. That's it. So that goes on both ways. Huh? So that also something when it comes to a real world example. So yeah. So we cover up that that basically concludes that point. So the success criteria is we understood the point about the importance of planning a project. So why we need to plan something, as well as we found out the key points or key elements of a storyboard, like the buttons and the navigations and so on and so forth, as well as we created our own storyboard. Okay, so let's go down and we'll talk about the research part. Okay, now this is something which is really important when it comes to actual internet research. Okay, now, okay, small history. So going back couple of years, let's say not now, couple of years, we need to go back about close to about 20 years. Okay, so if we go back into early 2000s, before the internet was there, we had, like, if you want to research something, the only place you had to go was the library. Okay, so we used to go to the public library in Colombo, and we used to open these books, and literally we used to go through the books. Okay, so there were like group work, and it was really painstaking because those days internet was there, but internet was not evolved into this level. So news sites were there, like Amazon and MSN and Yahoo, but we didn't had any Sri Lankan news sites. That was like pretty much new to Sri Lanka. So now that tables have turned, so now people don't go to a library and search, because why? You can just take out your phone and you can search whatever you want, right? So that's how it works. So the internet, now you guys are actually lucky, but at the same time, it's a bit hard. Now, it's like this. Now, okay, so the reason I want to get that point was, now, back in the day, if you want to search for, let's say, some sort of a mathematical equation, or let's say something to do with science, or commerce, or business, you can go to the library. You can ask the librarian, I'm looking for something like this. And what the librarian will do is, he or she will basically tell you, okay, the type of details which you are looking for can be or might be in a book, located in this bookshelf. So you go there, you get the number down, you write it on a piece of paper, and you go there and you find the book. And then you take the book, you keep it on a table, and you read it. Okay, that's how search worked. Almost no, not yeah, almost 25 years ago. Okay, now search works the same way, but apart from asking it from the librarian, what you do is you ask it from Google. You just open Google or YouTube or MSN or Yahoo or OpenAI, ChatGPT, or now with this new guy here, DeepSeek, you can just open up a prompt and you can ask. But the thing is, the method of asking hasn't changed. So still, you need to know how to ask the question properly. Okay, I hope you got the point. Yes, you have a question.
No, sir.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have a question. Like I was like wondering what to say.
Okay, okay, no problem. So yeah, so now, so the point behind this is the keywords. Okay, now back in the day, if you are going to ask this from a librarian, you still need to ask the keywords. You can't just say, go to the librarian and say, "Me, මට මේ වගේ දෙයක් ඕනේ, මට ඒක දෙන්න පුළුවන්." Then that guy will kick you out. Yeah, you'll have to be more specific about what you exactly want, right? Now, still, it's the same thing. Now, example is if you take searching for something. So obviously, we use a search engine, something like Google or MSN or Yahoo. And sorry, MSN means Bing. Sorry, Bing, B-I-N-G, Bing search. So I still call it MSN. Sorry. So what you do is you just go there and you type for that particular specific keyword. Okay. So then when you are searching for something, you really have to be specific. Okay. And then at the same time, it will look for the exact keyword and it will give you the search. Okay. Now, this is why the concept behind large language models became a big hit. So ChatGPT is a large language model. Okay, so ChatGPT works in a way where you can ask the prompt or ask the engine the question in any way. Okay. Now earlier you can't ask Google a question. Sorry, if you are trying to search for something, you have to be extremely specific. But now with the large language models, you can actually ask something. Let's say, which president was born in XYZ date. Likewise. Okay, so that's how this large language models and the system works. Okay, so let me show you a quick example. So
Sir, now sir, better than ChatGPT is Claude, right? Claude 3
Claude AI is actually okay. So it's like this. You can't say it's better. Okay, it is actually something to do with. So it's not better, but how it works is it's a bit optimized. Okay, so yeah, I won't call it actually better. Give me 1 second.
Okay, sir.
So give me 1 second. I'm just trying to switch the screen. Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm on ChatGPT. So let's say we just want to ask a question. So I'll just increase this. So now, if you search on google.com, this searching is something specific, right? So let's say you can ask, let's ask how old is Obama? Okay, that's the president. Okay, so here you get the answer as 63, right? So I was specifically asking for the keywords, right? So that's okay. But if you try this out with the language model, now let's say how old is Obama? Now, see, now the language model gives you a more precise answer. But on top of that, now this is now since the language model or this engine knows that I'm talking about Obama, now I can ask another question. I can ask, how tall is he?
Oh yeah, so we shouldn't tell like where this is and this like that.
Exactly. See, now when I ask how tall is he, it gives the information. So, is he married? Okay, yes. Like guys, okay. So this is the fun part when it comes to the capacity of researching. Okay, so here what we learn about is the same concept. So I'm just going to go through this very fast because it's something which you practically know you all, right? So basically many search engines offers advanced search, so which basically provides additional search options such as, let's say, focus on particular type, some sort of a document type or particular time period. Or now with the new search engines like this one, now you get the AI support as well. Or if you take as bing.com, so Bing has its own inbuilt AI. See this, what do you call it? Copilot. So
Yeah, sir. But sir, it's limited in the laptop.
in the laptop.
Yeah, sir. Because I have it.
You're mute. You're on mute. Mute.
So it's like you have to like I got it for like 1 week. After
Okay.
that, there was like you have been limited by talking for this or something.
Okay, so that means you have to pay for that extra. Additionally, you have
Yeah.
to pay. Okay. Fair enough with it. They are not going to give it for free. No? So that's true. But then again, this is up to a certain extent, this is free. Yeah? So, or you can go to bing.com and you can click on this icon where it will actually take you to the Bing Copilot. So that is up to a certain extent free. So let's say, is he
So,
married? Yeah.
so like in if we take about an old PC like Dell computers I have, so I just need to ask.
Okay.
That computer is little bit old. That was like taken in 2001 or something.
Okay.
And sir, can I connect it by a network card to my laptop and get it the same screen?
Hmm. Uh,
Like,
why do you want to connect it through a network card?
sir, to get the same screen, sir.
You mean, so you want to, so that, okay, let me clear this out. So the old PC still works.
Yeah, sir, it still works.
It
So
still,
actually, my target is to make it like an GP card.
okay, so you have, so are you, okay, so when it comes to the connection, yes, you can actually connect it through a network cable. And now anyway you will have the, sorry, you might have the ADSL router, sorry, the fiber router at home, no? So the router should have network ports, no? So that means
Yes.
you can plug in a network cable and then automatically an IP address will be allocated to that computer. So you just need to go to network settings and find that IP, and you can connect through Windows remote desktop. So in your
Oh,
machine, you have Windows remote desktop, Microsoft remote desktop. Then from remote desktop, you just need to put that IP address and connect. That's it. It should
oh,
work.
sir. That's what I was problem when I told my mother. Mother told like it is useless, but it has low capacity.
Okay.
But I really need to like put that graphics card like the fans and set up it like a new PC.
Okay, but what is the capacity of the PC?
Uh, sir, 50 GB.
I mean, sorry, sorry. My bad. I mean, what is the CPU? What's the speed?
Uh, the latency?
You mean you bought it 2021 or 2020? 2001?
No, sir, it's not in that area. It was in like 2001 area.
2001. 2001 means almost 24 years old. It can't be.
Sir, it's Windows XP, our motherboard.
Windows XP. Okay. Then yes, then it can be. So in 2001, ideally it should be a PC which is either a Pentium 3 or a Pentium 4. So
Yeah.
2001 Pentium 4s, let's see, 2001. Either it should be a last generation Pentium 3 or it should be an early generation Pentium 4. See, this was
Yeah.
actually.
So our mother told it's a Pentium 3.
Pentium 3, yeah, perfect. So Pentium 3 machines, it's like, okay, so technically it's a relic. So you should be able to turn it on, but I don't think you can do that much of things on it. Unless, apart from apart from using something like, apart from playing old games.
No, sir, not to play games, sir, but like to connect it and to
Yeah.
optimize my storage with it. Like
I
to clear
no.
that.
No, you won't be able to do that, Putta. No way. No, that's not going to work out. Because if you so you're okay, so technically speaking, these machines, so Pentium 3s, they had very slow network cards primarily. Okay, so back then, okay, nowadays, let's let me check. So, okay, yeah. So now usually our network cards are either the latest machines, they go up to 1 gigabyte per second. Okay, gigabit per second. And usually the previous generation, which came around 2010 to 2020 ish, we had 100 megabits per second. Okay, so that was the speed. That means if you take the 100 megabits per second to transfer a 1 gigabyte file, it takes about couple of minutes. 1 gigabit per second, it will take about maximum about 2 to 3 minutes to about 1 to 2 minutes to transfer a file. Pentium 3s, I the network card they had, I think that's like very extremely low, and to transfer a 1 gigabyte file, it will take you ages. So it's not going to work out. But I actually wanted to show you this. I bought my Raspberry Pi. Say,
Also, I was that thing, sir.
yeah.
Sometimes we
Say,
make PCs from that thing.
yes, yeah.
Wow.
I bought my Raspberry Pi, too, so it's a. So this is basically, we have a point to talk about single board computers. So how do you remove this? Yeah. So this is again similar to a single board computer. So in this case, you can use something like this to control and store new stuff. Okay.
Okay.
Super. Okay. So let's jump back into this. So yeah, we'll quickly go through this. So yeah, so I just showed you the point behind the search. So we do have advanced searches, as well as we do have couple of different search providers. So primarily our search giant is Google, and we do have Microsoft Bing, as well as Yahoo, and we have DuckDuckGo. So DuckDuckGo is actually another popular search engine, because this particular search engine has a specific, let's say, goal, a goal behind them, where they say they don't track people. So all these three guys, what they do is they track your activity, and they will basically try to sell ads to you. Okay, but DuckDuckGo doesn't track anything. So that's why it is also one of the most popular search engines now. Okay, So, yeah, any questions?
Yeah, so what is the tracking means? Like, what is the purpose of tracking for them?
Perfect.
Are they
So,
tracking our the route are we going, or are they tracking our doing things that we do in search engines?
good. Okay, good question. Okay, so now, first of all, I'll ask you another question. Google, my Bing, and Yahoo. Who are they actually? What is their business?
Their
Can
business is to give people information around us.
not exactly. That's not how they earn money. Can you guess?
By advertisements.
By advertisements, exactly. So Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo, those three are one of the largest advertising agencies in the world. Okay, they earn by showing people advertisements. Now the problem is, now let's say if you use your laptop and your mother uses your laptop and your father uses your laptop, the advertisement is you're going to see, if your mother sees the same ad, it won't practically work out, right? Let's say you're checking for some Edexcel books, and if your mother sees the Edexcel book, then there's a chance. But let's say if you look at some toys and some robotic stuff and all, then if your mother sees it, there's no point, right? For her, that won't be interesting. I'm just taking as an example, right? So what they do is, all these search engines, all these sites, what they do is they track your activity. So whatever you do online, wherever you click, your activity is perfectly being tracked, and they create a portfolio about you, and they show you curated advertisements. That's
What is
how.
it?
So they
Can you
base,
explain?
yeah. So they create a complete persona, like a portfolio. Like they know about you, what you like, what you want to click, and what you want to watch, and so on and so forth. And then that information is saved, and they give you specific advertisements which you will only like. That's
Oh,
that's how it
so
works.
even in YouTube they do the same thing,
Exactly,
right?
they do the same thing.
I just
Exactly.
understood. I really like those FPV drones and those things. And
Perfect.
on
Yes.
my when I look for shows, they are coming FPV drones, that Squid Games and
Yes.
something.
100%. 100%. 100%. You are going to see all those videos. That's how they earn. But there's a problem. Now it's a privacy threat. Now technically Google knows you better than your parents. Literally, Google has a document sheet about you than your parents do, like what you do, what type of things you like, what you want to learn, what you want to try out, where you want to go, what you want to eat, what type of a car you are looking for. All those information Google has it. So that's a security threat. So I don't care. I really don't care about that. But for some people, they do care. So, because they don't want to expose their personal life online. So example,
Okay.
let's say you're a high profile celebrity, and you like to drink a specific drink. Let's say you're a I don't know, let's say you're a Coca-Cola fan, right? But if Coca-Cola gets to know that, Coca-Cola is going to use you as an advertisement. So those celebrities, they don't want to expose their information. Even when they go out, they keep their faces covered, and even if they go to a location, they try to stay as discreet as possible, right? So for that type of people, this is going to be a very big problem. Even the president.
So sir, can't people hack the Google's databases?
Not technically, no. Technically, that is impossible. If somebody can hack it, then Google will automatically hire him. Okay, so
One high job.
yeah, so that's why we get this type of search engines like DuckDuckGo, and that is becoming much popular because they don't allow other people to track. And also, what? Yeah.
sometimes those criminals are also like tracked and get by the database of Google, right?
Yes, there were
Some
incidents.
American FBI guys do those.
Yes, there
They
were
track
incidents.
them.
Yes, exactly. Even in Sri Lanka, also there were an incident like that. So our our cyber police were able to track some criminals by going through Google documents, and they were able to find those people. Okay, so that's
So,
that's how it works. Okay, so I hope you got an idea about that. So how to judge search engine results? So now this is actually a little bit of a let's say kind of like a vague topic, because there is no such way of particularly exactly judging it now. Okay, by the time this book was created, yes, we had only Google search, but now we have ChatGPT search and all these high-end search engines which is powered by AI, so your result is much more accurate. Okay, but back then, first of all, you get few advertisements. Yes, Google හම්බ කරන්නේ එහෙමයි. So they need to earn some money, so they would show you the advertisements. And then you might see shopping sites related to the products you are, if you have searched for a product. And then at the same time, after that, you would see the details of the author and the website which you're looking for. So the primary point you need to make sure is, you just need to make sure how relevant the website for your, sorry, how relevant the search result you received for your specific keywords. So sometimes you might find different specific websites, but it doesn't match your exact keyword requirement. Okay, that problem is there. And at the same time, this is also one of the major points, Kemit, you need to, Kemit and Chennu, you both need to keep in mind how old is the website. So it's one of the major points, and you might get questions about this as well. So these 5 items are important. So just keep in mind, but it's normal day to day knowledge. But if you can highlight this part as well. How much is how old is the website? Because when a website is created, you just need to make sure that the website is latest. So specifically when it comes to looking for news articles, because most of the time people get news articles, people get old news articles, and they create posts and they try to post out. So reason, like there are like mentally people with mental breakdowns here. What they do is they take old news and they create new Facebook posts, and they post it, and you get a lot of viral hits for that, but ultimately when you look at it, it's old news. So those type of things people do a lot. So you just need to be careful when you're trusting it, and you have to check the date. Okay, that part, is it clear? All good? Okay.
yes,
Yeah. Chenul, how about you? All good?
yes,
Okay. Yes, nice. Okay. So then we talk about online copyright. Okay. So copywriting is a very uh, common thing which people do a lot, because when the content is out out there in the internet, anybody can see it. Okay, I talked about this briefly last week as well. So when you publish something like written work, or let's say photographs, or music and animation, or games and apps, there always has to be a specific copyright protection, or some sort of way for you to protect your legal ownership, right? Example is this goes into very let's say this has to be considered into a high level when it comes to music videos and art, because art, if somebody copies your art, then the value goes down, right? Same thing to music, and same thing for videos. So what you do is you get something like something we call as copyright laws. So copy protection laws and copyright laws. And what they say is, they say when you are searching for a specific resource, you just need to make sure that particular copyright, so whatever the resources you are using is not doesn't have any copyright restrictions. Yes, Kenneth.
Sir, I was about to like tell that some people who are in YouTube, sir, like they are using other people's song for their YouTube channel, sir. So, sir, isn't it illegal? Material like it is like copyrighted now. It is not. It is like copied now. Without
Yes.
copyright.
Okay, so when it comes to music, there are a couple of rules. Okay, so first you can do a cover track. Now, let's say if you're a big singer and you have a hit song, I can create a cover song, and I always have to give you credit. But if I exactly try to take your same song and let's say if I create a video out of that, then that's going to get banned. That's not practically
That
possible.
means, sir, we could only remix.
You can remix, but then again, when you're remixing it, then also you shouldn't use the exact track. So the track has to be changed at some point.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think Maru the video, that Sora video I showed you last week. I couldn't put that. That link is available through the LMS, but that got copyright strike. So that video got striked because of that Zora video. So I can't put it public, so that is unlisted. So you guys can watch it and you guys can find the link in our LMS, but that's not visible on my page. So I was going to put that public, but can't do it now because it has a copyright strike. So the option I had was to remove the sound and put it, but then again I was like, no point removing the sound again. That's right. Okay, so that means when you are saving resources online, you really need to make sure that there are no copy protected content in it. So example is, as I told you last week, you can easily use Unsplash, UNSPASH, Unsplash. Yes, unsplash.com or unsplash.org, I can't remember the exact domain. There you get royalty free images which you can use, but you just need to give them the credit. If you use that on a website, you just need to make sure that you give the credit to that particular person that you have used it. That's it. That's all they want. Okay, so then what you can do is you can basically find content, and you can, like, if you find a recording, you can bookmark the recording or bookmark the website, and then you can return to that page later. You can copy text from online. That's perfectly normal. You can copy images and store it on your machine, as well as you can download or save an online video and easily put that on the machine as well. But as it's a good practice to add a small text to note that creating and copy, just to make sure that the owner of the content you took it from. So example is, you might have seen all those in YouTube videos, like let's say if I take a part of your YouTube video, I should credit you, right? So what you do is you just put that on a kind of like a block, and underneath you put the place you took that video from. Otherwise that's going to be a problem. I'm not going to tell his name, but one of the popular YouTubers in Sri Lanka got into a copyright problem about a couple of years ago. I think about 2 or 3 years ago. He literally copied
I
a.
know that guy.
Okay, don't tell the name. Don't tell the name.
Yeah.
Don't tell the name.
He even did something for that, but I'm
Yes.
not telling the name.
Okay. Yeah. Don't tell the name. So what happened was that foreign guy who did the original video reached out and said to remove the video, but his video was actually trending in Sri Lanka. So ultimately he had to do another video and explain and say sorry, and then he got the okay to run it. So that's the thing. So I hope you know who that is. Okay, so that's about the searching criteria. Okay, now I'll let's quickly jump through this. It's about simple building a presentation. So then the next point is building the presentation. Now we created the storyboard, so we know what we are going to do, and we found the information. We learned about how to find the information, how to search online. I showed you two options: either go with OpenAI or with Bing or with Bing Copilot or our plain old Google, right? So all these options are there to find information, as well as then you can start building the presentation. So I just want to show you one more point. Now let me jump back again. So scene 2. Okay, so let me show you a quick tip. So like if you take ChatGPT, then now let's say I'll take a new one. Okay, you can actually say, let's say I'm creating a slide. I'm creating a presentation about cyber security, and it has to be it okay, and it needs to have 6 slides about. Then we can say what is cyber security, how to how to get how to how to protect ourselves from cyber attacks, and you can likewise you can put the topics. Okay, so this is basically asking for a prompt, and I'll add one more how to add. Okay, what are the available solutions for prevention? What are the softwares I can use? What are the software I can use? And one more, 1, 2, 3, 4. Any recent attacks and news. Okay, conclusion. Okay, now.
Sir, can we make a presentation from here?
Yeah, why not? Okay, so now all you need to do is just press enter. Okay, now it's making the slides.
So, sir, we have to just copy them and put in your slides, right? Put in our slides, right?
Yes.
Sir, can't we tell, like, make this from PowerPoint, this thing, and can't we make it connect, like,
Yes.
whole to PowerPoint?
Yeah, there is a way to do that. Okay, so you can ask, can you convert this to a PowerPoint macro code? Okay, so the key is PowerPoint macro code. So you get this code. Okay.
And we have to run it
No, hold on.
in there.
Hold on, I show you how to do that. Alright. Now, okay, now you have to take PowerPoint. You have to open up PowerPoint. It's quite straightforward. Let it open, give it a second. Okay, so PowerPoint is on, so I'm getting a blank presentation, right? Now in this screen, all you have to do is you have to open up the VBA editor. Okay, so this will basically give you an editor. So here on the top you have this option called VBA editor. Okay, now once you do this, you get this editor. Okay, now you can basically run this code. So you copy the code, okay, and then you open this up, you can click you can click run, you can create a new macro, slide, create, and here you paste it. Okay, and you can run the code. Okay, compiler syntax error defines. Okay, there are some issues sometimes, but why is it?
Sometimes it's coming.
Compiler syntax error. Let's see why this says syntax error. Nah.
Sir, then, sir, is it HD? Sometimes in that computer science, it's telling site tags or something. Site tags. Site tags.
See, this ideally it should work. I think we are getting some sort of some weird issue. Why is this declarations and general? Ideally it should you get the code, okay, and then you all you need to do is just run this, and then it would basically create the slideshow and will give you the details. Okay, so try it out. So the only thing you just need to ask is you just need to ask it to give you the VBA code or macro code, and it will show you how to do this. I think there's a problem with after the class, just try this out, because you should be able to do this on Windows. There is some sort of a weird difference thing with Mac OS PowerPoint. Not exactly sure. Okay, okay. So I just want to show you that. Be careful. So using AI is perfectly okay, but use it wisely. Don't misuse it. But try to try to make it in a way so that it will basically help your life, and it will help you research. Okay, so perfect. So setting up a presentation, so it's quite straightforward. I'm just going to jump through these slides. So setting up a presentation, what you do is you used to create a slide, and then you choose the format, and then from the format itself you have the option of inserting text boxes, inserting graphics, and so on and so forth. Okay, so it's almost a straightforward process. And then like we talked about the different styles last week, about having this house style, which I told you about, brandings and the branding styles, why we need it, right? So that's the typical idea behind this part, and meeting the needs of the target audience. So again, we went through this last week as well. Okay, so we talked about why we need this. So if by any chance if someone missed it, just watch the video back again, then you can get a clear idea about this. Okay, so that way this part is done, right? Okay, now then we talk about the presentation interactivity. So this is also a something simple point. So the interactivity is basically, now you don't have to do this for all the presentations, number one, because keep that in mind, because having an extremely interactive presentation will also disrupts the purpose. Because example is, just think, as I told you as last week as well. So if I have a background here with some Marvel superheroes fighting each other, you will obviously look at that apart from listening to what I am going to say, right? So that so yes, multimedia has to be there, but it should not disrupt or distract your audience, or your disrupt your the method you're presenting, or it shouldn't distract your audience. So your audience should be able to see and listen to you. Okay, so usually presentation softwares, they don't give you a lot of features, so they offer a limited range of activities. Like you can add an embedded video, or you can basically add some presentations and slides. But now we are talking about PowerPoint. Have you heard about Canva?
Yeah, sir, Canvas, sir, that we can create pictures and even we can create the
Yes.
green screen things.
Yes, you can create videos, pictures, animations. Literally, you can create YouTube videos on Canva. Okay, and
But we have to pay, right?
yes, you have to pay. Now, for my at my company, I do have a Canva premium account, so we use Canva for a lot of stuff like social media posts and so on and so forth. So Canva is actually quite powerful. Huh? It gives you a lot, but that actually takes you out from the typical presentation. So that gives you much more options so that you can use it for multimedia presentations and so on and so forth. So just if you want to do
So
something.
now is using Canva, right?
No, I am now using a green screen. I'm in a kind of like a studio with a green screen. So, yeah,
Oh.
I will show that once the class is done. Let me, I'll show you a studio too. Hold on. So, okay, so that's the part behind the media, and then animations and transitions. So that is also you have to be careful. You don't have to. Uh, you have to limit it. Okay, so we'll quickly jump through the do's and don'ts. So again, as I explained last week, we'll start from the don'ts. So we do have the don'ts. So make objects don't make objects fly around the place because again that would distract the audience, as well as you have to use animations and transitions, uh, which is like not distracting, as well as sound effects can sometimes distract. Okay, sound effects like if you have a blasting sound effect like chum 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 something like that, then that's also going to get distracted. The audience is going to get distracted, as well as use very long animations which will slow down the presentation. So ideally your animations should be within couple of seconds or milliseconds, because then it won't slow down the presentation. And when it comes to do's, yes, so you have to use the animations in the key parts of the places where you want. In the sense, now let's say you are explaining a list of items from item 1 2 3 4, then you have to be careful. You just need to be like specifically going through the number of items, right? So let's say you don't want the audience to see the rest of the items. Okay, so let's say if I'm presenting this one, I if I want to go one by one, okay, then I can keep these hidden and then only show this one. And when I press the button or when I press here, the rest will appear, right? So then I can explain it part by part. So likewise, transitions has to be done in a specific visual interest so that it will make sure it's interesting. And then transitions, you have to keep it consistently. Consistent means when I say it should be consistent throughout the slideshow. Otherwise, if one slide goes to left to right, and the other one comes from right to left, and something falls down, it's going to be nuisance. And also thinking about fades instead of too many effects, like to simply fade out and fade in, something like that. So even in YouTube now, you might notice like when it comes to these professional YouTubers, they do like very high-end B-rolls and transitions and all. So those videos are really interesting to watch, right? Because those transitions are they capture you to get the attention, right? So yeah, you were trying to say something.
Sir, no, sir, my mouse is like going everywhere and it's unmuting and muting.
Okay, no worries. Super. So that's the whole idea behind that part. So okay, so then we talk about the real world advice. So basically, the advice part is about why we need this. So it should be interesting and well researched content, and eye catching images has to be there, and embedded videos can be used. I'm not saying it has to be used always, but it can be used. And subtle animations and transitions, that is also something you have to use. And at the main time, and at the same time, you can go with the interactivity. So example is navigation buttons to move backwards and forwards or to return to the start. Okay, so that's the typical structure of a presentation. Now, what I'm going to say is, okay, so yes, this is what you have to do, and make sure that you highlight this part as well. පුළුවන් නම් චූටි marker එකකින් mark එකක් දාගන්න, because these are again a certain set of questions you will get where it's going to ask you what type of like what are the main points of a presentation which is important to have. Okay, so then these 5 topics would be basically the typical answer. Okay, so Chenul, just highlight this as well, so just to make sure that it's covered. Okay, and then yeah, so then the success criteria, so yeah, that's basically covered. Okay, so finally presentations done. Now we are jumping into something interesting. Importance of passwords. Okay, now okay, so passwords. So we are having a problem now. So have you heard about quantum encryptions? Quantum algorithms. Okay, so there, when it comes to passwords, there are like different types of passwords. So how does a password work? Do you know how does it get saved? Do you know the idea how it works?
So it works by the software of the system, operating system, mainly by the operating system, sir.
Yes, up to a certain extent, yes. Shall I show you how it exactly works? Shall I show you the technical part behind it? So this is how a
So
pass.
sometimes, sir,
Yeah.
they are like guessing their password by their birthday, sir. And
Yes.
then for an example, there was a Aya who I really know him. I'm not going to tell who he is, but he has a YouTube channel.
Okay.
And in his YouTube channel, his post, he at the day his birthday was, he has put like, "It's my birthday today, guys. Like, give me
Okay.
birthday." So, sir, even I never put my birthday, even the birthday date, or even what is my email address or something.
Yeah.
Nothing I put into YouTube, like it's so
Yes.
not good.
You
Like,
shouldn't. You shouldn't. Literally, you shouldn't.
so, and there was like 500 views for it.
Okay.
And so I felt like that
Everybody
he
got
could
to
get,
know about that.
everybody could like take his email and everything
Yes.
by the birthday.
Yeah, obviously, yes. Okay, so let me show you how it works. Okay, so this is the technical part behind it. Okay, so since I'm showing this, since I'm a hardcore software engineer, you really need to know how this works. Okay, so this is a database. Okay, this is just a test development database. In this database, you can see the password. That is something very weird, right? You can't read this, right? So technically speaking, this is, give me 1 second, just need to see what I'm going to check, what I'm going to show you. Yeah, so if I show you the actual method of creating this, we are putting the password. See, so this is the code. So this is the system code which is a project which we are currently working on. So how it works is, can you see here, we have a method called hash. See, okay, so what it does is, we take the human readable form of the word, okay, and we hash it. So hashing means we convert it into a hash like this. Okay, So this is the hash. So this is technically this is the string called password. මේ තියෙන password කියන එක. හරි? So password is, so you type in password. So when you log in, what you do is you type in as password. In the code, what we do is we take your password and we hash it. And then we check the version we have in the database. Okay, so even in your computer or your when you create your Gmail accounts, whatever the social media platform, wherever you work on, this is how the password works. Okay, so now can you tell me why this is hashed?
So normally it's encrypted.
Yes, yeah. Why is it? Why it is encrypted?
So if the hackers cannot go in through our passwords.
You are partially correct. Partially, not entirely.
I mean, they couldn't guess our password.
Not exactly. No, no. They can guess. They can obviously put something like a algorithm to basically. I can't actually use those words in here. They are like this video can be blocked if I start explaining about how to hack a password. So I'm not going to use that part. But there are algorithms they can use. But can you guess why this is encrypted? Why you can't read the password in the database? Simple point. Think why?
To make it a strong password, not to make it a weak password.
Still no. Chenu, do you have an idea why this password is encrypted?
For privacy reasons.
Okay, yes, again partially correct. Whose privacy?
Our privacy. Our privacy.
Our privacy. Okay, yes. So think about the other side of the things. Now I am actually looking at this system's database, right? So if I can see this as password here, if it was in like simple string, like an unencrypted version, hari වැඩේ වෙන්නේ. If I get access to the database, I can log into all the accounts. If somebody hacks the database, then they get to see all the passwords. You get the point? That's why it's encrypted. So if a hacker gets access to this database, still all they will see is this email address, staff@neuraled.ai. That's it. They won't get access. They won't see the password.
Yeah.
Got the idea? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Chenu, you also got the idea, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Let me switch back. So now.
So sometimes if we like save hard passwords, like strong passwords,
Yeah.
Google like we can't remember now. So
Yeah.
Google like gives us it for like we will remember like sort of, and when we need to enter it, it almost entered by automatic.
It automatically fills it. Correct. That's actually a good thing to use a password manager, because ideally passwords should be extremely unguessable. Number one, never use your name, never use your phone number, and obviously don't use your birthday. Okay. So yeah.
It's my birthday and it's
Yes.
already done.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. So I'll tell you guys a nice story. So back while I was working at this company, we got the ISO 9002 certification. So that is a security certification where we got the certification to the company. And when we went through the security certification, we had this flash audits. So they don't say that they are going to come and ask you questions. They just randomly come to the office and they ask you security, like typical questions. So one day, this guy, so I was actually I was in that ISO audit group as well. So I was part of the internal audit group, but I did this silly mistake. So these guys came and came to my desk and asked, Vipula, me ලස්සන බල්ලෙක් ඉන්නවනේ. මම කෝ ඔව් බල්ලෙක් ඉන්නවා. Yes, I said, yeah, I have a dog. And මම ගෝ මේ බල්ලගේ නම මොකද්ද? Then I said my dog's name. Okay. And they were like, okay, having a casual chat. And one guy asked, you had other dogs also? Then I was like, yeah, I had another 2 dogs. Okay, I think. I'm a dog lover, so if you ask me about my dogs, I would obviously tell you all the details, right? From the time I remember all the dogs I had, I will obviously tell you. And then okay, they had the chat, and after like couple of minutes they went away. Just like that, I got a message saying my Gmail address is locked. Okay. And then I was totally shocked because I had a strong password, and this was like some time back. I did not had the 2-factor authentication back then. This was almost about 10 years ago. I was completely shocked, so I couldn't do anything. Then those guys came back to my desk and said, Vipula harine dunna wede kiyala. And apparently, in my Google account, the password recovery question I have added was the name of my dog. So they basically came to my desk because they tried to open up the account and they saw that the security question was the name of my dog. So they had a casual conversation, got all the names of my dogs I had, and hacked my account. And I failed the test that day. And so that was a good example. Okay. So that's why you really need to have a strong password. But then again, even if you have a strong password, if you do a silly mistake like that, still your data can get damaged.
So that's why I'm not too funny at YouTube. Like I'm like normal guy, not serious, not telling any single word of my data. I just continue.
Yes, yeah.
That's the perfect thing.
That's the perfect thing.
I have this and that and that. And
No.
that, but it's
yeah, you do that once you get to a certain age and once you get into a certain revenue where you earn a lot of money out of it, then obviously most. Lamborghini එකක් ගත්තොත් ඒක පෙන්නන්න එක. You have to show it off. No? That's a different.
I don't like to show my face.
I mean, no, like if you get to a point where you can buy a Lamborghini by the earnings of YouTube, then obviously show that off. That's a different story. But that's long way to go. Hari. Okay.
Yeah.
That's about passwords. Hari. So now you guys saw the technical part behind passwords, but in simple terms, a password is just a sequence of letters. So it's just a sequence of letters. O can be numbers, or it can be obviously a special set of characters which will allow the users to access a particular system. Simple as that, right? So why do we need passwords? So I know it's a silly question, but then again, all your data, personal data, has to be personal data, information about medical history, shopping habits, all these information has to be protected, right? You can't keep it public, no? So that means obviously that has to be protected. So guys, again, so both of you, please do highlight this section because you are going to get questions about what is a password. What is a password is basically straightforward. You can say this part. A password is a sequence of letters, numbers and other characters that allows the owner of the password to access a particular system. So please do highlight this part as well as let's highlight this particular area. So you get questions asking to give examples of locations where passwords will be used. So it can be different situations where the password can be used. So when you are using smartphones or tablets or devices, accessing personal and work emails, using the Wi-Fi passwords and so on and so forth. So all the points you do have the option of using a password. Okay. So I hope it's clear. All good? Right? Okay. Chenul, you also good? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, nice, perfect. Okay, so when it comes to password advice, this is something a bit of a you just need to keep on the middle point. So it's basically like example is now in this example you can say now if you take the password as sunshine, so sunshine is basically in this case this is a what do you call this? This is a a dictionary word. Okay, that's the word. So this is a dictionary word, and if you add a certain character to the dictionary word, that automatically that becomes a bit hard to guess. Okay, and if you add multiple different characters like special characters like percentage signs, numerics, and underscores, and so on and so forth, then that password automatically becomes a very strong password and it's going to be hard to guess. Okay, so usually using dictionary words as a password is actually very bad because there are again I'm not going to tell the name of how it can be done, but there are methods where you can run or hackers can run different algorithms so that those algorithms will try all the dictionary words. So we'll try all the dictionary words and check if that dictionary word matches. So there are multiple different algorithms to do that, and this is where the quantum cryptography and the quantum hacking part comes in. So as you guys know, just this is out of your syllabus, but just keep this in mind. So now if a normal computer, so if you take a 10 digit password and if you run an algorithm to crack or hack a 10 digit password, it might take a normal computer couple of days to couple of years. Okay, a quantum machine can run it in couple of microseconds. Okay, so quantum computers, they are so powerful, they have this quantum bit architecture, it's a bit different architecture which can just like that crack it. So just to give you some numbers, if a normal computer takes 900 something days, so about 2 or 3, sorry, a task which takes a normal computer about 900 days to do can be done from a quantum computer in about 1 second. Okay, so that's the power. So because of that reason, now we are jumping into a new era known as quantum cryptography. So the one I just showed you, that encrypted text, that can be hacked in couple of seconds. Okay.
Oh.
Yes. So I know that is very scary. Okay. So just do a search when you get a chance as quantum cryptography. You can find some interesting videos on people talking about it, and right at the moment itself there are multiple quantum cryptography competitions going around the world where people basically get teams and they fight with each other trying to find the best algorithm to make sure that a quantum computer cannot hack a password or a system. Okay, that's something interesting, something to search for. So just check it and see. Okay, now
I just got an idea about that, how to do that.
yeah, just search and see that particular idea. That's like really interesting. Okay, super. So and okay, so again, now these are again couple of points which you will get questioned about. So the question is alternatives to passwords. So as we know now, we are in an age where biometric sensors are very common now. So we have face identification, we have fingerprints scanning, as well as we have iris or retina identifications as well. So that will basically scan your eye and it will understand the patterns of your retina, and that would basically unlock the device. And you do get these methods, these type of methods, so that you can make sure that it works. You know that you can buy a fingerprint scanner for your laptop. Have you seen it?
So it's here.
Ah,
It's in my laptop.
yeah. Ah, okay. But it is in the laptop. No, but there's another thing called there's another thing called YubiKeys. Okay. So these are kind of two-factor authentications. Okay. So let me show this. See, yeah, it's a small key. So all you do is you plug it in. Let's say you can set it up for Gmail or in any other software. See, it's a small key with a fingerprint sensor. So you take it out, and you plug it in. See, it works with all these platforms, Amazon, Amazon, and everybody. So see, let me show you the product.
So you should like order it, right?
Yes.
So
So
like I have our family is like literally never like believes from Google's stuff.
okay.
Even I never believe from Google stuff to buy and to like the sometimes now Google is in India, sir.
Yeah.
Our father told that Google have gear that you can put your credit card and scan to your Google Pay,
Yeah.
and they are not showing the numbers and all, but you could scan it from a scanner.
Yes.
So sir, if from even a camera,
Yeah.
from a camera they couldn't see your card.
Yes.
I'm not going to tell about that camera.
Yeah. I mean, if you are interested in so these are known as penetration testing. So I will show you that in a different time, because I do have a lot of penetration testing tools. I have a Flipper Zero. Do you know what is a Flipper Zero is?
No, sir. But sir,
Okay.
that one of the YouTubers showed that sir, dark data or something. If you plugged in and program it to something, it sends a specific signal that would crash down your laptop.
I have that with me. So that's a penetration testing tool. So just do a search as Flipper, Flipper, Flipper. That dolphin Flipper Zero. So do a search and see. You will find out what is what is the Flipper. Okay.
Okay.
So I do have it. I'll show you some stuff. Obviously, we'll see. Okay. So perfect. So that's the final point about safe practicing. So now we do have final point where we talk about the evaluation or evaluating a presentation. So here we just need to understand few points about how we evaluate it and why do we evaluate it. Okay, so now example is like this. Now here we say the presentation, but then again the idea is basically about the product or whatever the idea you are going to convey, or whatever the idea you are going to sell. Okay, so now first, evaluation in the sense we have to understand why we need to evaluate, right? So basically we have to look at the results, and we need to find out why or what we did. Okay, and then we have to understand why this was done and how it can be improved. Example is like, if we are trying to sell a product, we have to find out why we want to sell this product or why we came up with this product, and we have to find out how it worked. So when it comes to the evaluation, it will be primarily about what went well in your design, and as well as what elements haven't worked as well as you hoped, as well as and the third point is, how could I improve the design now. Example is you start with your design. So in your presentation, your first screen was really good with those graphics and all. But after that, did you notice, like when you go into the page, so you had a full blast in the first page, but then you go into the page, inside the page you have like less animations. I'm not saying it's bad, but like
Yes,
the
right.
consistency has to be there. So if you have
Yes.
some certain something in the first screen, that design has to continue. And you get the
So
point.
the problem was like if I had time, sir,
No, no,
I
it's
would
okay.
have made a video and those transitions and every
Yeah,
cool
no,
stuff.
no, what you have done is perfectly fine. So what I'm saying is like, so when you look at it in a evaluating perspective, so this is like, so what do you call it? It's like positive feedback. Okay, so it's like constructive feedback, right? So those points can be upgraded, right? And then now once you do the presentation or once you get it done, then you can basically talk about other people to how to improve that design. So example is
Yes.
now we do couple of government projects. So for those government projects, we need to create pitch. So we call them pitch decks. So pitch decks means it's a presentation. Pitch deck is just a presentation. What we use is we use that to go and pitch our idea. Like as so they are the investors which is going to be there, and we pitch that idea to the investors. So what we do is before we go and meet the final investor, I mean the final government investor, we show it to our friends and family and whomever who is in that particular area of expertise, so that then they ask us all the questions, they give us, they like, even if they criticize it, so it's fine. Because they are like friends and family. So මොනවා කිව්වත් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. මොකද then we can get the positive feedback out of it and we can create it. Okay, so that's why we need the evaluation. So that way, here it says the point, the peer feedback. Peer feedback is the particular point. It says it's the process of asking those around you to comment on your work. So peers are those around you of a similar age who are working on similar things. Peers කියන්නේ යාළුවෝ වෙන්න පුළුවන්, can be family. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් if it is an office environment, we say peer who can be your colleague. වගේ හැපැත්තේ ඉන්න කෙනා වෙන්න පුළුවන්. Or if it is if you're doing this at school, then your peer would be your friend, right? Or it can be your parents, right? Anybody who will be around you and can, so the similar age, yes, it doesn't matter that much, but if it is similar age, yes, then it's good. But the primary point is working on similar things. So both of you should work on the same thing. Example is, let's say if you're building a presentation for a set of doctors, you shouldn't go and ask whether it's good from a engineer. Right? He will be like, me career never. But for him, it will be kind of like French. So that's the thing. Right? So you just need to make sure that idea is evaluated, and then that's basically it on how to get this done. So we have a couple of real world examples. You just need to keep this in mind. So evaluations in the industry, we do see a lot of different types of evaluations. The main evaluation is when it comes to when it comes to software and hardware. So you know that so if you watch this Samsung or Apple device launches, so what they do is like way before the original launch date, let's say the device is getting launched in September, they basically finish the device somewhere in January and they give it to people to use it. So Apple does this the best, but Samsung also does it up to a certain extent. So what Samsung does is Samsung send their devices very like long time before they launch it to all the YouTube influencers, these YouTube guys, even like MKBHD and all these phone people who reviews phones. So they send it to them and they review it. So then they check it, test it, then they give the feedback to Samsung. So if they find something, ටක් ගාලා fix කරනවා. මොකද
That's the same thing happening in chocolate factories. That in Cadbury, so that they give those chocolate sample for kids and taking the feedback.
yes yes හැමෝම කරනවා. අපි මරු වැඩක් වුණා මං ගොඩක් පොඩි කාලේ while I was in grade 7 or 8 where there was this thing in Borella where one of my friends asked whether we can come and taste something. So there was a taste test. පොඩි තැනක තිබුණ drink එකක්. We have no clue what it is. So it was just a free taste test. So all we need to do is just go and taste it. And then we have to tell them what we think about it. So it was done by a shop back then. This was like late 90s, so a long time ago. Where I just went there and we drank it, and then he took some notes down, and that was it. So yes, so they are basically evaluating it. So nowadays this is being properly done because you get people, you can catch people online. As well as the third point, this one, the creators of apps and console games. So technically what they do is, okay, so Sony, PlayStation. So way before the PlayStation 5 was released, what they did was they actually sent PlayStations to all the game studios and asked them to play around with it. Nothing to do, just to test. So they sent it, and they also sent a developer version. So basically they send the PlayStation and say, okay, this is the device, now make your games work on this. And when it is released, they get to release couple of games and software and everything to work on it. Okay, so that's
these days that PlayStations, something is like they're actually making the PlayStation.
Yeah.
But in Darasa, so also searching in Darasa, it's 5,550. The PlayStation with the gaming consoles and everything.
5,550 rupees, is it?
Yeah, sir. Just search in Daras.
Okay.
It's the same thing. It has copied the techniques.
Copied the tech. Okay, okay.
It has sold for like 280 people.
Got it. But then again, it should be something like a clone of a PlayStation, but it shouldn't be able to play the PlayStation games. So you shouldn't be able to put the PlayStation discs in. That's the thing.
Yes, sir. I'm not allowed to play games while in the
Okay. Anyway, so just since you brought up that point, so PlayStation, I've been using PlayStations for a long time. So PlayStations have a specific type of a locking mechanism in their discs. So they do have a hardware verification, and the disk has a specific key, something similar to this hashing. So when you put the disk in the PlayStation, only PlayStation hardware can read the disk. You can't even open that disk on a normal Blu-ray drive. That's the thing. So that means like even if you try to copy it, still it won't work.
So, sir, have original PlayStation?
Yes, I bought the PlayStation 4 when it was released back in 2013, and then I bought another PlayStation back in 2022, a PlayStation 4 Pro. I sold my PlayStation 4 and then bought a PlayStation 4 Pro, and still I have that. Still I have it. I don't actually game on the PlayStation now. I do have a Steam Deck, so I play some games on that. I'll show that Steam Deck sometime back. Hi. Okay, so that's about the real world examples on checking. Okay, so yeah, and then okay, so give me 1 second. I think we can actually skip this part. We'll skip this and adapting a presentation for a new audience. Okay, so yeah, now based on this, so I'll give me 1 second, hold on. Yes, perfect. Yes, we can finish this today. Cool. So, adapting a presentation for a new audience. Okay, so there's a point behind creating it for a different audience. So, why you might need to adapt for a new audience is that if a new target audience has been identified. Can you remember what I told you guys last week? Like, you have to find out which audience you are going to sell the product to. So we selected the audience between 12 to 18, and then we talked about how it can be how the presentation can be sent to them, right? Same as that. Okay, so now let's say now the presentation you just created for the cybersecurity. So let's say now I ask you to do this presentation to a set of professors in Morotua campus. Okay, now then you can't just take your presentation what you did now, right? You'll have to make it as advanced as much as possible, and you will have to add lots and lots of data because they already know what is cybersecurity is. So you have to tell them something which they don't know or something new. So in that case, if a new target audience has been identified, then obviously that has to be changed. As well as, now let's say, so the images which you have used on your first screen, now Moruto professors they'll be like, so for Moruto professors, you will have to come up with very complex, like new high-end images which will cater for that audience, right? Which they will basically like to see, right? And then you just need to make sure the content is not outdated, as well as if the content is outdated, then you must update, obviously. And then let's say after some time, if a technology is updated, let's say if some new technologies have been invented and you have to upgrade it, then yes, obviously you need to include that as well, right? As well as then finally getting the feedback. So based on the user feedback, as we just talked a few minutes ago, you will have to change your structure. So changing the target audience, it can go both ways. So now let's say the presentation which you did, let's say somebody asked you to do this presentation for some children in kindergarten. So just to make sure that they know the basics of using a phone, or try not to do something bad using a phone, or just to be careful when using a phone, then obviously you will have to tone it down a lot, right? You'll have to add some nice flowering images and explain them in a nice, easy to understandable way, right?
Like colorful.
It should be
They like
exactly. So it has to be really colorful, and it should connect different types of references into them. So this is the same image which we saw last week as well. So according to this, depending on the audience, it has to change, right? And let's say, okay, let's change the tone. Let's say you want to show this presentation to your parents, then obviously you have to adapt it according to their views and needs, right? So let's say you have to tell your parents that this is how you should be safe, something like that. So that part has to be properly mentioned, as well as you could add more text, as well as you have the option of making images very small or updated, so that they will contain all sorts of information, or like specific information which is required. And at the same time, you can make sure that it's appropriately updated according to the audience, so that anybody, when they go through it, they can see what is exactly going on. Right? Okay, so that's the main points, as well as we do have another set of points. Now we can actually update the house style. So here we call the house style as the primary base style. So according to the type of the audience, you can change it. As well as you can add some transitions in the sense now if we take these professors at the university, they won't like fancy transitions, so they are like old guys who won't like this like what do you call it, like all the bells and
They need
whistles you
more
can add.
serious stuff.
Exactly, they need serious stuff. So sometimes if you add transitions, they might not even like it. So it depends, right? So best would be to basically keep it as simple as possible. As well as the next point is about linking. So you can just make sure that you link to like latest content so that those content and links will be displayed so that it can give more complex detailed information for the audience. Okay, so that's about the points which is about the presentation. So real world examples wise, we have some examples where a product might be adapted to a new audience. So marketing material can be updated, as well as a product may be unsuccessful for one audience and may be successful to another audience, right? So there are a lot of examples like that where products failed for one audience and for another audience that was very successful. Okay, so there were options like that. And then we have the as well as a game developer, you might actually want to create the game to cater different people as well. Example is now nowadays actually you don't have that. So back in the day when games came out, most of the games had two versions. They had a child version and they had an adult version. So technically, in the adult version, if you shoot someone,
Minecraft kids have it.
Minecraft, you have it. Exactly. Yes.
Minecraft demo, Minecraft
Yes,
edited.
yes, exactly. Minecraft is actually following the old concept still. So now the new movies, new games, they don't have that much, but some games they do still.
The Minecraft is the most educational game that ever been.
Yes, but
But we have to pay.
you have to pay, and it takes too long to pay. I I tried playing it couple of times, but I was too bored. So that's
The sir can play the demo, sir. It's same, but
yeah,
not all the things.
yeah.
I played it a long time ago, and I was not allowed to play it.
Okay, I'm a big indie game fan. Indie games means those small games like old type games where you do puzzles and Prince of Persia, something like that.
Okay.
I'm not that type
Worm
of
needs
a.
egg. Worm needs egg.
Yes, yeah.
The snake and the egg. That's it.
Yes, yeah. I'm a big fan of that type of games. I don't that much play this high end like third person type of games. Okay, so one last point to discuss: evaluating an adapted piece of work. Okay, so now in this session we actually understood what type of information which we collected. So okay, so when somebody updates their product, they basically go through a particular process so that they try to evaluate and find out what it does and how it relates with the market. Okay, so I'll explain this in a different way for you to make it easy to understand. Now example is let's take Apple and Samsung. You know both the devices now. So when Apple releases a device, Samsung tries to go through it and try to find out what are the most popular features, and just like that, it's going to copy. Right? And when Samsung releases something, Apple is going to go through it and find out what are the most related features, and they copy it.
But
Yes,
Samsung is making the display.
I know.
Apple's
Yeah.
display is made by Samsung.
Yes, 100% correct. Yes. So that is something to do with the business. That is a business deal. But outside, when it comes to the actual market, they are like rivals. So the best example what I can say is Apple removed the headphone jack, the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack when they released the Apple iPhone 6, and everybody made fun out of it. So Samsung made videos that they don't have the jack and you can't use headphones and so on and so forth. But what happened after about 2 years? Samsung also
They
dropped the
made it
headset.
drop.
No, Samsung also dropped the headphone jack.
Oh. So after that, Apple failed it and they made Vision Pro. And Samsung couldn't.
Yeah, Samsung couldn't do that. Samsung will come there anytime sooner. They are going to come.
They are controlling it by the hand,
Yes.
but they see it by the eyes.
Correct. Yes. Okay. So that's the uh, evaluating on something which is already adapted. So what you do is you find whatever the details which is like when you update something, you basically continuously keep on researching it to find out if they match the needs of the users, and then if they do match it, then you evaluate it, and then you obviously change it according to the new targeted audience. Okay, so that's the end of this particular lecture. Okay, so I want you to do something now. Here we have like a typical 4-mark exam question. So can you do this and can you send me the answer? So just take a screenshot, just take a picture and WhatsApp it to me. That's also fine. Okay, otherwise you can upload it. So like you have this, so you have an answer, but then again write your own version. And now since you know this, just be a bit more complex and make sure that is there. And starting from next week we'll jump into unit 2. Okay, so just before you go, let me show you quickly my studio.
Sir, what about that link that's told?
Yes, yeah. We'll put the on. So yeah, you can see me on a screen.
The green screen.
Yes. Okay, so this is my studio. So you can see this is soundproof. So we have all, yeah, the whole thing is soundproof, and we have a high definition 4K camera. So this is the one which is capturing the whole picture, and behind me it's just a green screen.
So it's like a super high-tech studio, like some of those guys who are making those videos of like
Yes.
scary movies.
Yeah.
They even use those.
Yeah, I do create some podcasts and stuff. No, so that's right. Anyway, this studio was entirely made to do lectures. So that's why I can deliver some quality content.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to show you how it is.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, perfect. Thanks a lot. So I will upload the video and we'll share the link. And next week we'll jump into unit 2. So don't worry about the speed. We'll be able to catch up with your school, and we'll be covering up things in time. So thanks.
We will catch up with surely, because next month and those we are having sport meets, and these days like not much lessons is going on.
Maru, yes, sports meet means I think no lessons.
That means everybody's running there,
Yes.
jumping there,
Yeah, I know.
like that.
Yes, obviously, yes. Okay, super. And yeah, so Chennu, please do give the answer for that as well. And any questions before we wrap up?
No, sir. No, sir.
All good? Perfect. Then let's catch back next week. Thanks. See you. See you.
Okay, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
sir.
Good night. Bye.
Bye.